All right. Hello, everyone. Today I have Melissa Brown. Melissa Brown is a student of mine in Launch Your Online Agency, and she started her social media business, I think, a year ago. And while she was working in a full time job, and now she is full time in her social media business. So she no longer works a 9 to 5, and this is what she does full time. So, Melissa, welcome and introduce yourself. Let us know what you do, what services you provide, and how you help business owners.
My name is Melissa Brown. I am the owner of Copper Sky Social Media, and currently I am helping clients have a consistent, cohesive message online, mostly on Instagram and Facebook. I'm branching out into LinkedIn, and I'm doing a little bit of Twitter. And yeah, that's about me.
Awesome. So tell us how you got started. As I understand, we spoke a little bit before we started this, and you mentioned that you were in a full time job, 9 to 5. What made you want to start your business? What was your situation, and what motivated you to start your social media business?
So I was helping a friend with her personal training business. She was just too busy to do her social media. And she said, "Hey, can you help me out with this? You're really good at it." I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I helped her for about a year. And then she convinced me to start my own business to help other small business owners. And I didn't even realize that it was a job that you could do. So I started my LLC about a year and a half ago. And I um, started meeting people through the SBA, the Small Business Administration, and at networking events.
The time that you joined Launch Your Online Agency?
That was around the same time. I was actually looking for a client service agreement, and I had Googled it, and your name popped up, and I'm like, "Oh, who's this?" So I started looking into you.
Um, Google, which shows that my SEO is working on my blog. So awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So once I signed up for Launch Your Online Agency, it was really easy to go through all the different courses, and I was able to cherry pick what information I needed to learn like right then. And then I started going to networking events in person, like you suggested through the Launch Your Online Agency, and I've been able to grow from a handful of clients to about 8 now.
So how many clients? So let's take a step back and talk about you were working your job full time. What made you want to make this into a business?
I I've always wanted to have my own business. I just didn't know what it would be. And I would do social media for free for anyone because I liked it so much. But then I realized, oh, wait a second, I can get paid for this. So it was really that. And I got laid off from my job after doing my side hustle for about a year. I got laid off about 3 months ago. And I was given a severance package, and that was my sign that it was now or never to go full time with this.
Wow. So remember you mentioned that you had, how did you feel when you got laid off? Because you mentioned you did have clients. So how many clients did you have while you were in your full time job?
During my full time job, I had 3 clients, and when I got laid off, I most people go into the meeting and they're scared or nervous or sad. I was actually kind of excited to get laid off, to be honest, because I knew I was going to be okay, because I already had 3 great clients and I knew what I needed to do to be able to get more.
Well, that's good. I mean, the fact that you were happy, right? Like you weren't like, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills?" Well, you had, Melissa, she created her social media business part time while she was in her full time job. So it's like she had, you had this security blanket, right?
Exactly. I wasn't scared at all because I knew I already had my systems in place. Um, it was different going to a job 9 to 5 to having all of my own time. So that took an adjustment, but having all of my systems in place didn't scare me at all.
Right. So here's the deal. Those of you watching, some of you are in a full time job, and you you are not secure. Your job could lay you off at any time, right? So it is really, really interesting how she shared that story, because now tell us what happened since you got laid off, and where are you now?
So right now I'm up to 8 clients. I've been able to get them from recommendations from my current clients and at in-person networking events mostly.
Wow. So you booked out. And as far as income wise, I think you mentioned you replaced your previous salary.
Yep, I've been able to cover my previous salary and then some. But I know I can get a lot further, so I'm still working on it.
Yeah, but that's a huge accomplishment, because what, 3 months ago you got laid off, and now you are able, you don't have to go back to work. So
Nope.
you gotta pat yourself.
Yay!
Right. Um, so let's go into how did you use the program Launch Your Online Agency to actually add these extra clients? Because you got 5 more clients, right?
Yes. I at first I was planning on having tons of different services and tons of different offerings, but then once I started doing it, I realized I just need to be very specific and hone in on my skills. So I think I work best on growing organic following and organic reach on Instagram and Facebook, the best. Um, I'm trying to branch out into LinkedIn, which is a whole nother beast. But I was able to go to those specific modules and study those and get those down, and then be able to give those to my client, give those skills to my clients.
That's great. And so really, how do you feel, that the course helped you as far as the clarity and the systems, things like that, that you mentioned before earlier?
Yeah, honestly, I got all of the systems that I needed, especially your project management module. I had no idea what Scrum was. I was honestly going to skip it because I was like, I don't need to know this. I can manage a project. But actually, that specific module was very helpful in keeping myself organized in the beginning when I was taking on new clients and trying to get all their projects squared away for them.
Yeah. And you're managing this using the same system that we teach in the program?
Yep. I use Asana to track everything, and I have a couple of freelancers that help me with content writing right now. So it's kept us organized.
Awesome. So now you have people working for you. So how many people do you have in your agency?
Right now, I have 2 freelancers. I am in the process of looking for a virtual assistant to help me with administrative tasks and scheduling content and whatnot. Because having 8 clients, most of them have 2 social media accounts each. That's a lot of content that needs to get out.
Yeah. So, when you were doing it, how were you able to? I think a lot of people watching, they have maybe they have a full-time job and they're kind of curious. How did you manage that, right? For people who are curious to know, how do you do a full-time and a side business? How did you do that?
Honestly, it's just keeping myself organized. I wrote everything down. I have all of my to-do lists in Asana, and I just break projects down into doable little chunks and then just get it done. And I would spend every spare moment that I had to do client work, to reach out to potential clients. So whether that was staying up late, getting up extra early at like 4 a.m. to do stuff before I went into work, doing stuff on my lunch break, doing stuff on my 15-minute break, like whenever I had a chance, I was working on it.
Awesome, awesome. So, how do you feel now as far as where you are and where you see yourself going with your business?
I'm good right now. I want to be better. I want to have higher paying clients, and I want to be able to step back and have my agency run itself. And I like people, so I like focusing on getting new clients, meeting people, networking. I do best at in-person networking events. because I make a connection right then. And then the phone consultation is just icing on the cake. So I do best when I'm talking to people.
That's actually really interesting because one of the things I teach in the program is that in-person networking events are like one of the best ways to get clients because you build a relationship with them. So when it comes time for you to sell your services, they already know you, and so you get an easy yes, right?
Exactly. I've gone to a few networking events. First of all, I was terrified. I was so scared to try to talk to people in person and to sell myself. But I just jumped right in, feet first, um, made a few good connections at the beginning, and was able to speak to people, and they would introduce me to other people. And then once I got comfortable, they would start inviting me to other networking events saying, hey, we don't have a social media person in our network. Would you mind coming to our event and introducing yourself? Because I know there is a lot of people that need help like yours. So it's been really great.
Yeah. So you did mention that you were, I guess, kind of introverted, right? How did you overcome that to start networking in person?
Honestly, a glass of wine. Having one glass of wine before going to a networking event or at the beginning of a networking event definitely helps. But it's starting with that one connection. If you lock eyes with somebody, just walk straight over and introduce yourself. And honestly, just reminding myself that everybody is doing the same thing that I am, and they're probably just as scared as I am, made me feel a lot better. And now I have a handful of people in a few networking groups that I go to. So it's like just hanging out with friends now.
That's great. That's great. All right. So, what advice do you have for people who are interested in starting and growing their social media business? And what would you recommend?
I would say just do it. I was the person who was fussing with my brand colors, with what my company name was going to be, with how my social media postings looked. You just have to do it. Like, nothing is perfect, and there's never going to be a perfect time. So just stop fussing and just do it.
All right. Thank you so much, Melissa, for sharing your story. And like I said, I really want to bring her on here because she's a perfect example of someone who started from scratch, had a full-time job, grew their side business, and then when she was laid off, she was able to use the information in my course, Launch Your Online Agency, to grow her business. And now she has 8 clients and she's fully booked. She replaced her income. Melissa, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you so much, Alma, and thank you so much for your course. It's honestly helped me so much.
Awesome. So happy you got success. All right. Thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you later.